Part 6, Confidence Intervals. Here are some definitions that you need to know in order to do this section. Number 1, margin of error, usually expressed as a plus or minus a number of points or a percent. For example, 68% of people use their toothbrush longer than 3 months. Results of a survey are accurate within plus minus 3%, 19 times out of 20, 95%. So my margin of error is this plus minus 3%. Number 2, confidence interval. The survey or poll results plus or minus the margin of error. So for example, 68 plus minus 3%, or if you take 68 plus 3, you get 71, minus 3, you get 65. If there are 5,000 in the total population, the range of the number of people who use their toothbrush longer than 3 months would be. So you can find 50% or 68% of 5,000 people, which is 3,400 people. 3% of that is 102 people. So 3,400 plus minus 1.02 people would be your confidence interval. Or you can also say a range of 3298 to 3502. Number 3, confidence level. The number of times out of 100, a percentage, that the results of the survey and the true population lie within the confidence interval. So basically, how accurate is the survey? So, example, it can be said with 95% or 19 out of 20, 95% confidence that 3,298 to 3,502 people in a population of 5,000 will use their toothbrush longer than 3 months. Okay, let's take a look at this example. A recent survey found that 71% of people smile at other people they see walking down the street. The results of the survey are considered accurate within plus minus 2.5%, 19 times out of 20. A total of 1,200 people were surveyed. Okay, determine the confidence interval with percentages. Okay, so remember that this is my average, 71%, plus or minus 2.5%. Okay, so that of course is our margin of error. So our confidence interval in percentages is, I'll just use CI for confidence interval, 71% plus or minus 2.5%. Okay? Or we could also write it as, if you take 71 plus 2.5%, you would get 73.5%. 2.5 minus, 71% minus 2.5 is 68.5%. So that's another way where you can use percentages to write the confidence interval. Okay, next bullet. Determine the confidence interval in terms of number of people. Well, I know that my lower limit is 68.5%. So if I find 68.5%, again, change it to a decimal first, of 1,200, I would get 822 people. I can find my upper limit the same way. Take 73.5% to change it to a decimal, so divide by 100, and again times it by the number of people in the survey. That worked out to be 882. So that would be my confidence interval, 822 to 882 people. Determine the range of people represented by the confidence interval. Well, range is biggest, take away smallest. So 882 subtract 822 works out to be 60 folks. Okay, now the other way you could find that is if you were to take your 2.5% times by 2, because that would give us the entire range of the percentages, that's 5%. So if you take 5%, change it to a decimal, and multiply by total number of people, which was 1,200, you would also get 60 people. Last bullet, determine the confidence level. Okay, so again, 19 times out of 20, and you want to times that by 100 to make it into a percent. That looks a little crazy. Okay, times by 100. So that works out to be 95%. So we can be 95% confident that between 68.5 and 73.5% of the people will smile at others as they walk down the sidewalk. Okay, let's do our last set of examples, and then you folks are officially going to be done statistical reasoning. Example 2. The quality control engineer refers to the following chart when testing random sample groups of soccer balls produced at a factory. So here is a bunch of different confidence intervals and sample sizes. Okay? What's the relationship between confidence level and the sample size? So notice that the levels go from 90 to 99. So as the levels increase, what happens to our sample size? Well, 90 has 195 people that or soccer balls, that it's surveying. 95% has 225 soccer balls that need to be sampled to be that confident. And to be 99% confident, we need a sample size of 300. So basically the relationship then is a higher confidence interval or level, keep saying interval, I mean level, is acquired from surveying a larger sample size. So basically what it's saying is the more soccer balls that are sampled, the more confident they can be about the quality of those soccer balls. Okay, let's fill in a few notes. So a small sample size means a survey may be, a large sample size means the survey may be more accurate. Okay? As a sample size increases, the margin of error decreases. Okay? We're more likely to be right, so the margin of error would decrease the bigger our sample size is. Using the same confidence level, so let's say we're just at 95%, as the sample size increases, the range in the confidence level decreases because, again, you're going to be more accurate because, again, confidence interval is calculated using the margin of error. If the margin of error remains the same, to have a higher confidence level, okay, a larger sample size is needed. Okay, so again, to be more accurate, we need to sample more items. Okay, on page 302, the last set of practice questions for statistics is to do questions 3, 8, and 9. Again, when you're done this formative assessment, please show your teacher.